In this video we're going to take a quick look at a scatter plot. I've already built one here from scratch using the predicted high temperatures and chance of precipitation rather, from Rexburg's 10-day forecast, and you'll have a different set of numbers for the one that you choose, and you can even choose your own hometown or some other place in the world if you're interested. So what we're trying to shoot for, though, is the x-axis is going to be the high temperatures that are predicted, and the y-axis is the percentage chance of precip, and we'll just see if there's any kind of a particular correlation. We'll learn how to do a line of best fit called a trend line in Excel. We'll also learn how to crank out the equation and the r-squared. That's called the coefficient of determination, and the square root of it is called the correlation coefficient. So let's get started. I'm going to click on the actual template, if I can locate it here, that's going to look like yours. I may have to go through a couple different spreadsheets. There we go. So this is what you're confronted with. You've got your link that take you right to Rexburg's weather.com site and take a look at the meteorological data. But remember, you're welcome to choose your own town or city if you're interested. Alright, so because I don't have any data here to work with, I guess it would make sense that I go back to where I was for just a second and pick that up if I can get to it. Where did she go? There it is. Alright, I want to take a copy of that data for the purposes of this tutorial, and we'll bounce back here and do a paste. Now we're ready to go. So if we're going to do a scatter plot, the main thing is to highlight the two different variables, the two different data lists, you might say. If your desire is to have the high temperatures be the x, then it's best if they're on the left-hand side. That's the fastest way to do it, the easiest way. So I've got an x set of data and a y set of data to make this plot. I'm going to choose charts and ask simply for a basic scatter plot, and get that much started right there. I'm going to get it a little bit larger, and the series, I don't really have an interest in that. I'm going to pull that out with a delete. What I'm not liking about the chart so far is the fact that the scale on the x-axis is not really sensible. I think 30 to 60 would make for a better scale. So I'm going to do a right click down on these numbers, and you probably can't tell from your video there, but I'm choosing Format Axis. Let's see if I can get that up higher so that it won't fall off the screen so easily. So again, I just did a right click and I did a Format Axis. There we go. And on that, I'm going to go to Scale. I'm going to tell it that I'd like the minimum to be 30. This would be in degrees, 30 degrees to 60 degrees. And so now we've got a little bit better look and feel of things. nice layout there. Then I think I'll do a little bit of color to format that area, just a nice, and maybe shadow it as well, but I like to fill it in with just a subtle color of some kind. Say I go with this nice green. That helps the charts stand out just a touch better. And then we'll need to do a quick set of titles that you've done in your other graphs, I'm sure by now. We'll do a little title above, and I'd like to try to specifically suggest that this is Rexburg's high predicted high temperature. Let's go Rexburg's high temps versus. You could even word that even backwards. It might be sounding a little better. Rexburg's percentage chance of precip versus high temperatures. How about that? So just try to be somewhat descriptive to make sense out of it. If you don't like where your label is landing, you might consider getting your graph a little bit bigger so that you have some space, and then this can be crunched down too. I believe I can literally click here and take this portion and squash it down just a bit. There we go. Now the axes titles are really crucial so we understand what the data is supposed to be portraying. So I'm going to click on the data, on the chart rather, and then click on axis titles. The horizontal title, let's see, let's give it a title of predicted highs, and you can control how big you want that title to be and what kind of font and so on. Predicted high temperatures, I'll call it that. And this needs to be kind of boosted up, I suppose. Let's see if we can get back up a little bit higher. There we go. Right. And then on the vertical, it'd be nice to do another rotated like we've done in the past. So I'll rotate this title, and it needs to be a percentage chance of precipitation. Precipitation. Nice to get that spelled correctly. All right. And I'll just kind of make some elbow room for myself there. Looking better already. Now for the line of best fit and the equation, we're done. So to get a line of best fit, I found the fastest way is just to do a right click on these data points. You'll notice a handy little function called add trend line. And it'll say what kind of trend line do you want. Well, it looks kind of linear to me, and that's pretty much what we want for this project. So I do that. Let me go back to where I was on that though. Let's see, there's this nice little feature, options. This is where you get to say, could you show us the equation please and the r squared value. And then that equation can be formatted differently. It can be made larger and placed in a convenient way. So there you have it, just a nice quick trend line for the data and the equation that describes that data, that trend line rather, and how it's showing that there's this correlation that's relatively high. Now it's possible if you're doing yours with summer data, there's probably not going to be near as much correlation. This was done in the fall semester of 2013 where there was more correlation than we would expect in a typical situation. But I hope that's helpful. Have a great day.